irregularities with the counting processes, while stating that a new poll will be held after 90 days. We have details of those stories and others in this news roundup.
Church has a number of schools across the country and employs dozens of teachers to educate students attending those schools. Some are in hard-to-reach areas, whilst others are located in sparsely populated areas. This makes it all the more necessary for those teachers to close ranks to promote their welfare and assist each other. This reason and several others gave rise to the formation of the Fonyi Mission Teachers Association, which was formed in 19...
We do apologize for that. The government of Mali and Tuareg rebels have agreed to an AU-brokered ceasefire. This comes following days of intense fighting in the northern town of Kidal, where rebels repelled an army offensive. The president of the African Union, Mohamed Ould Abdul Aziz, traveled to contested town for talks with members of the Tuareg rebel group, the Minla. We have details of that story in this report.
Including 4 of the commandos. A huge car bomb blew up outside the parliament. The shootout inside lasted 1 hour. The attack was a repeat of an assault in February against the presidential palace. 4,500 guests, including numerous African heads of state, attended the swearing-in of Jacob Zuma in Pretoria. The South African president took the oath of office on Saturday for a second term. He promised that his second term would be marked by a radical socio-economic transformation. Jacob Zuma won the parliament's backing on Wednesday after his party, the ANC's victory in the May 7th legislative elections. The presidential election that took place on the 20th of May in Malawi has been declared null and void by the president herself. Joyce Banda said there were numerous irregularities with the poll, that ballots had been tampered with, and the vote count system had collapsed. Analysts placed Banda as the favorite despite competition from her hardline predecessor's brother, Peter Mutharika. She said a new vote would be organized within the next 90 days and that she would not be running. 12 years of prison for Germain Katanga. This is the sentence the International Criminal Court handed down to the former Congolese militia chief on charges of complicity in war crimes and crimes against humanity. In 2003, Katanga obtained weapons for his militia forces, who then attacked a village in the northeast of the Democratic Republic of Congo, killing over 200 people.
Well, we will be back after this break. Welcome back. The government of Mali and Tuareg rebels have agreed to an AU-brokered ceasefire. This comes following days of intense fighting in the northern town of Kidal, where rebels repelled an army offensive. The president of the African Union, Mohamed Ould Abdul Aziz, traveled to contested town for talks with members of the rebel group, the Minla. We have details of that story in this report. Well, another apology for that. Ethiopia's attempt to complete construction work on its multi-million-dollar Renaissance Dam is drawing massive criticism from Egypt, Cairo says the construction of the dam, the largest on the continent, is a threat to Egypt's national security. The Renaissance Dam is being constructed on the Blue Nile, and its completion, Egyptian authorities fear, will impact on the water flow from the river. We have details in this report. Welcome back. And now to sports. The executive director of the National Sports Council Saturday afternoon announced the lifting of suspension on 4 top officials of the Gambia Football Federation. The announcement was made at a joint press briefing convened by the National Sports Council and the Gambia Football Federation. And as Babakar Senghor reports, the decision is set to chart a new path for Gambian football.
I think in my pronouncement, I said the council and the GFF, we both sit together and engage each other. And in my pronouncement, I said we have agreed to lift the ban on the suspension of GFF players. And in my pronouncement, I also mentioned that we are engaging each other to work on the ban of CAF and ensure that the ban is lifted. And we have the signal from the GFF on the way that we should move to engage CAF, and we believe through them that we'll be successful for this ban to be lifted. And we're still working on the process. We're still engaging each other. Here, we are not pronouncing of a blame game. We are looking at, as a nation, how Gambia would engage itself in this CAF and FIFA competition as it was before, than being suspended. So the idea is looking underneath the athlete who is more affected in this, and we want to ensure that Gambia engage itself in CAF and FIFA competition. That is the consultation that we are doing, and that's what we are looking for, and ensure that Gambia gets its glory and pride.
Statements were short and succinct. The first signs that these two vital bodies are now working together for the good of Gambian football.
We stand in solidarity, and we see Gambia bigger than all of us. And the development of football in the Gambia is our collective, interest, and we cannot achieve independently. So that is why we have engaged, and I think Abdulaziz has put it rightly. Now, coming to the specific question on the appeal process, it might interest you to know that the appeal was already submitted to CAF on time. We have respected all the procedures, and CAF have now given a go for us to engage and proceed with the appeal process.
Few weeks earlier, this would only have been a dream for Gambian sports. This is a departure from previous discussions with the media. There is an element of compromise here, and for the first time in many months, Gambia's sporting fraternity is channeling efforts in building a better future for its athletes. It marks a remarkable turnaround in the fortunes of Gambian football management. However, despite the positivity generated from the press briefing, there still remain some unanswered questions, not least the timing for a change of heart.